First contact gone wrong. The crystalline spires of the Galactic Council's central chamber rose majestically above the artificial atmosphere of Nexus Station. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the towering council podium, her face a mask of diplomatic composure, despite the gravity of Earth's petition. The 7 council members, each representing the oldest spacefaring civilizations, peered down at her with expressions ranging from boredom to mild disdain. Senior Speaker Xalax, their epidermis shifting in iridescent patterns of blue and green, raised a tendril to silence the murmuring chamber. The Council has reviewed Earth's evidence regarding these alleged attacks on your colonial outposts, they announced, their universal translator conveying perfect basic. We find the documentation insufficient. Sarah maintained her professional demeanor, though her fingers tightened almost imperceptibly around the data crystal in her hand. Behind her, Commander James Rodriguez of Earth Intelligence kept his face carefully neutral, even as his augmented neural implant continued recording and analyzing every minute detail of the chamber. Senior Speaker, with respect, Sarah began, her voice clear and steady. The evidence includes detailed sensor logs from 3 separate colonies. We have documented 27 distinct attacks in the past solar year alone. The Maraxian representative, Ambassador Catal, chittered something that the translator rendered as barely concealed laughter. Perhaps if your species had invested in proper defensive technologies rather than your primitive kinetic weaponry, such incidents might have been prevented. In the observation gallery, Dr. Elena Petrov, Earth's leading xenotechnology expert, carefully noted the condescension in Catal's tone. Her neural link transmitted encrypted data bursts to the waiting Earth intelligence vessel in high orbit. Every word, every gesture, every subtle shift in the Council members' biosignatures added to Earth's growing database. The Council's decision stands, Xalax declared. Until Earth can provide evidence that meets our standards, we cannot justify committing Council resources to investigate these unfortunate incidents. Perhaps when humanity has achieved a more advanced state of technological development, we might revisit your petition for full member status. Sarah bowed slightly, the perfect picture of a disappointed but accepting petitioner. We understand, Senior Speaker. Earth thanks the Council for its time. As she turned to leave, her neural implant captured the dismissive gestures several Council members exchanged, believing their subtle movements would go unnoticed by primitive human senses. The Earth delegation departed the chamber with deliberate humility, maintaining their carefully crafted image of a young, naive species. Only once they were aboard their diplomatic shuttle did Sarah allow herself a small smile. Transmission complete, Commander Rodriguez reported quietly. The Council's entire secure network architecture, mapped and analyzed. Their arrogance in their own security systems made it almost too easy. Dr. Petrov pulled up a holographic display showing the complex web of data they'd gathered. Their technological superiority has made them careless. They never considered that our primitive cyber warfare capabilities might have evolved specifically because of our history of internal conflicts. Did you see how they reacted to our primitive kinetic weapons? Sarah asked, bringing up another hologram showing the Council members' biological responses during the meeting. They're so reliant on energy shielding that they've completely dismissed the potential of advanced ballistic technology. Their overconfidence is our advantage. Commander Rodriguez nodded, his augmented vision already processing the collected data. The patterns in their communication networks are clear. 3 Council species have been coordinating these attacks through intermediaries. They think they're being clever, using pirates as proxies. How long until the analysis is complete? Sarah asked, watching as Earth's quantum computers began decrypting the massive amount of data they'd gathered. 24 hours, Dr. Petrov replied. We'll have their entire command and control structure mapped, every back channel, every hidden protocol. They believe their systems are impenetrable, but they never considered that a lesser species might specialize in finding weaknesses rather than building stronger walls. Sarah looked out at the gleaming form of Nexus Station as their shuttle prepared to jump to hyperspace. They think we're simple creatures playing at being a spacefaring civilization. They've forgotten that humanity's greatest advances have always come from being underestimated. She turned to her colleagues, her expression determined. Let them dismiss us. By the time they realize their mistake, it will be far too late. The shuttle vanished into hyperspace, leaving no trace of the sophisticated intelligence operation that had just taken place. Inside the council chamber, the representatives continued their session, blissfully unaware that their dismissal of humanity had just set in motion events that would shake the foundations of their civilization. Silent observers. 3 months after the council hearing, the Earth intelligence vessel Shadow Pursuit drifted silently in the asteroid belt of the Meraxian trade hub, Chorus Prime. Its advanced stealth systems, developed in secret over decades, rendered it invisible to the supposedly superior alien scanning technology. Commander Rodriguez stood on the bridge, watching real-time data streams from their distributed sensor network. Another shipment, he noted as a massive cargo vessel bearing pirate markings, slipped into the system's shadow. That's the 5th one this week. Lieutenant Maya Singh, the ship's tactical officer, enhanced the sensor feed. Same pattern as before. They're using the asteroids for cover, but our gravimetric sensors are tracking every movement. The Meraxians really believe their sensor scattering field makes this region impenetrable. The cargo ship's trajectory confirmed their analysis. It was heading toward a hidden docking facility carved into one of the larger asteroids. Earth's quantum computers had already mapped the entire smuggling network, correlating shipment schedules with attacks on human colonies. Update from Operation Ghostweave. Dr. Petrov announced from her station. Our infiltration teams have successfully placed quantum relays in all 3 target systems. We're now intercepting 97% of their secured communications. Rodriguez nodded, studying the holographic display, showing the web of connections they'd uncovered. The Meraxians, Drachnids, and Vorax had created an elaborate network of proxy operations, each believing their involvement remained hidden from both the Council and each other. They're getting bolder, Maya observed, highlighting a series of recent transmissions. The Drachnids are pushing for increased attacks on our Centauri colonies. They think we'll abandon the resource-rich systems once casualties mount. Their psychological analysis of humanity is fundamentally flawed, Dr. Petrov said, pulling up historical data. They're applying their own species' risk tolerance models to us. They don't understand that humans become more determined when threatened. A priority alert flashed across their screens. One of their deep cover agents had transmitted new intelligence from the Vorax homeworld. The data painted an even clearer picture of the conspiracy scale. This confirms it, Rodriguez said grimly. All 3 species are competing for control of our territory. Each thinks they can manipulate the others into taking the blame when the Council eventually investigates. Maya's hands flew over her console as she integrated the new data. Their entire strategy relies on the assumption that we're technologically inferior. None of their defensive systems are designed to detect our quantum-entangled communications or gravimetric sensors. Most importantly, Dr. Petrov added, they haven't realized that every pirate ship they've sent against our colonies has been thoroughly scanned and analyzed. We now understand their weapons technology better than they do. Rodriguez watched as another cargo ship emerged from hyperspace, its hold likely full of weapons destined for pirate forces. Begin Phase 2 of Operation Shadow Echo. Upload the specialized viral packets into their communication networks. Let's see how they handle a little manufactured discord. Dr. Petrov's fingers danced across her quantum interface. Viral packets prepared. They'll trigger automatically when specific keywords are detected, subtly altering messages between the conspirators. Within weeks, they'll be questioning every communication they receive from their supposed allies. What about the Council? Maya asked, monitoring the encryption protocols of their operation. They remain convinced of their technological superiority, Rodriguez replied. Their security systems are scanning for known attack patterns. They never considered that we might develop entirely new approaches to cyber warfare. The bridge crew worked in focused silence, each monitoring their assigned sectors of the vast intelligence web humanity had woven throughout Council space. Their patient observation and data gathering were about to pay off in ways the alien conspirators could never anticipate. "Send word to command," Rodriguez ordered. "Phase 2 is commencing. Tell them that Operation Shadow Echo is proceeding exactly as planned. The conspirators have laid their trap, believing we're the prey." He smiled slightly, watching the cargo ship dock with its hidden base. They'll soon discover they've actually trapped themselves. The Shadow Pursuit maintained its silent vigil, gathering intelligence that would soon shatter the conspirators' carefully laid plans. In the depths of space, humanity's web of deception grew ever larger, preparing to entangle those who had gravely underestimated Earth's capabilities. Digital whispers. Inside the quantum-shielded command center beneath Geneva, Earth intelligence analysts watched as their carefully crafted digital breadcrumbs began to take root. Holographic displays filled the room with streams of intercepted alien communications, each one showing the first signs of growing paranoia among the conspirators. Sarah Chen, now acting as Earth's covert operations director, studied the latest reports. "The Drachnids intercepted our modified transmission right on schedule," she noted, watching as the false data cascaded through their networks. "They now believe the Vorax are secretly negotiating with the Meraxians to claim the larger share of Earth's territories." Dr. Petrov's quantum interface pulsed with incoming data. "The beauty of it is that we didn't even need to fabricate most of the evidence. We simply revealed certain communications while concealing others, letting their own paranoid tendencies do the rest." The main display showed a complex web of trade routes and communication channels spanning the contested sectors of space. Tiny points of light indicated where Earth's viral information packets had taken hold, spreading through the aliens' supposedly secure networks like digital spores. "Latest update from our deep cover operatives," Lieutenant Singh reported, her augmented reality display highlighting key intelligence nodes. "The Meraxians have doubled their encryption protocols. They're convinced someone has been tampering with their internal communications." "Ironic," Sarah observed. "Their increased security actually makes our targeted insertions easier. They're so focused on protecting against brute force attacks that they've left themselves vulnerable to our more subtle approaches." A priority alert flashed across their screens. One of their quantum relays had detected an emergency meeting of Vorax military commanders. The universal translators processed the encrypted transmission in real time. "They're taking the bait," Dr. Petrov announced, her fingers dancing across her interface. "The Vorax just ordered their agents to begin surveillance of Meraxian shipping routes. They suspect their allies are skimming resources from the raided human colonies." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "How are the Drachnids responding to the manufactured evidence of Vorax betrayal?" Lieutenant Singh pulled up the relevant data streams. "They've redirected 3 stealth cruisers to monitor Vorax space. Their military intelligence is preparing a detailed report on suspected treaty violations. Best of all, they're keeping their surveillance activities completely secret, because they don't want to reveal their own violations of Council law," Dr. Petrov added. "The same reason none of them can openly accuse the others without exposing their own involvement in the attacks on our colonies." The quantum computers continued processing the vast amount of data flowing through Earth's intelligence network. Each intercepted transmission, each suspicious order, each paranoid inquiry added to the growing tension between the 3 conspirator species. "Update from our cultural psychology team," Sarah said, reviewing the latest analysis. "All 3 species share a common trait. They place enormous value on saving face in front of the Council. The mere suggestion that they're being manipulated by their allies triggers deep-seated cultural anxieties, which makes them particularly vulnerable to our strategy," Dr. Petrov noted. "They're so concerned with maintaining their image of superiority that they can't conceive of being outmaneuvered by primitive humans." Lieutenant Singh's console chimed with another alert. The Meraxians just canceled 3 planning sessions with their Drachnid counterparts. They're citing security concerns as the reason. "The level of distrust is growing faster than we anticipated." Sarah studied the holographic display, watching as the web of suspicion and paranoia spread through the conspirators' ranks. Continue seeding the modified communications. Focus on their military and intelligence channels. Let's see how their alliance holds up when they each believe the others are plotting against them. What about the Council? Lieutenant Singh asked. They remain blissfully unaware, Dr. Petrov replied. Their monitoring systems are detecting the increased communication traffic, but they're attributing it to normal diplomatic tensions. They have no idea that humanity is orchestrating this entire dance. Sarah watched as another set of falsified transmissions entered the alien networks. Keep monitoring all channels. The moment any of them makes a move against their allies, we'll be ready to proceed with the next phase. In the darkness of space, Earth's invisible web of digital manipulation continued to tighten around the unsuspecting conspirators, slowly but surely driving them toward inevitable conflict with each other. Seeds of discord. The grand trading hall of Koros Prime buzzed with unusual tension. Meraxian merchants huddled in small groups, their crystalline appendages twitching nervously as they watched Drachnid representatives hurry past. The normal flow of commerce had given way to an atmosphere of suspicion and barely concealed hostility. Commander Rodriguez, disguised as a minor trade official from a neutral species, observed it all from his corner table. His neural implants recorded every subtle interaction, every strained conversation, every suspicious glance. Another trade delegation just canceled their meetings, Lieutenant Singh reported through their quantum-encrypted channel. Her cover as a maintenance worker gave her unrestricted access to the station's service corridors. The Drachnids are claiming technical difficulties, but our sensors detected them transmitting encrypted data back to their military command. The massive trading hall's central display showed real-time market data, but Rodriguez noticed how the Vorax traders kept their distance from both Meraxian and Drachnid trading posts. Their characteristic clicking sounds carried tones of agitation that the universal translators identified as stress indicators. Cultural assessment update. Dr. Petrov's voice came through their secure link. The Meraxians have suspended 3 major trade agreements with Drachnid mining colonies. They're citing irregularities in resource allocation, exactly the phrase our planted evidence suggested would indicate betrayal. Rodriguez sipped his drink, maintaining his cover while watching a heated argument break out between a Vorax trade minister and his Meraxian counterpart. Their universal translators struggled to keep up with the rapid exchange of accusations. How long until the Drachnids realize their shipment manifests have been altered? Lieutenant Singh asked, her maintenance drone continuing its programmed patrol pattern. They're too busy investigating the false evidence of Vorax interference in their military communications, Dr. Petrov replied. Our quantum viruses have created a perfect loop of suspicion. Each investigation they launch uncovers more of our carefully placed evidence. The trading hall's atmosphere grew more charged as news spread of another failed negotiation. A group of Meraxian security officers escorted a Drachnid diplomatic team from their offices, their body language clearly hostile. Report from Earth Intelligence. Sarah Chen's voice joined their secure channel. The Vorax have withdrawn their support for the next planned attack on our Centauri colonies. They're convinced the Meraxians are planning to claim the territory for themselves. Rodriguez watched as more trading stations began shutting down operations. The Drachnids are pulling their merchants out ahead of schedule. They're trying to make it look routine, but our sensors detect their ships are running at full combat readiness. The beauty of it is their own paranoia, Dr. Petrov observed. We merely provided a spark. Their natural inclination towards suspicion and backstabbing is doing most of the work for us. A priority alert flashed across Rodriguez's augmented vision. The Meraxian Trade Federation had just issued a statement suspending all non-essential commerce with Drachnid worlds. The impact rippled through the trading hall like a shockwave. Market algorithms are showing a 17% drop in cross-species trading. Lieutenant Singh reported. The station's security forces are going on high alert. They're expecting violence to break out between merchant crews. Phase 4 completion at 83%. Dr. Petrov confirmed. Every attempt they make to investigate the security breaches leads them to another piece of our manufactured evidence. Their own security protocols are trapping them in our web. Rodriguez stood slowly, maintaining his careful disguise as panicked traders rushed to close their positions. Send word to command. Tell them the division between conspirator species has reached critical levels. The alliance that threatened Earth's colonies is fracturing exactly as planned. Through their quantum-encrypted network, the human operatives watched their carefully orchestrated plan bear fruit. The three species that had arrogantly dismissed humanity's capabilities were now too busy suspecting each other to maintain their campaign against Earth's territories. Continue monitoring all channels, Sarah ordered. The moment their cooperation completely breaks down, we'll be ready to strike. They'll never see it coming because they're too focused on watching each other. In the chaos of the trading hall, humanity's invisible hands continued to pull the strings, guiding their enemies toward inevitable conflict while maintaining perfect deniability. The next phase of Earth's revenge was about to begin, and still none of their targets suspected the true source of their troubles: tactical patience. Dawn broke over the crystalline spires of the council chambers as Ambassador Chen presented her latest report. The recent disruption in trade relations between several council species has unfortunately impacted Earth's colonial development plans, she stated, her voice carrying just the right note of concerned innocence. Senior Speaker Talax shifted uncomfortably on their elevated podium. The council chamber felt notably emptier with the conspicuous absence of the Meraxian, Drachnid, and Vorax representatives, each citing internal matters requiring their immediate attention. These are temporary setbacks, Selex assured, though their color patterns betrayed uncertainty. The Council maintains that local trade disputes pose no significant threat to galactic stability. In the secure observation deck above, Commander Rodriguez monitored the quantum feeds from Earth's intelligence network. Transmission intercepted, he whispered into his neural link. The Drachnids just accused the Meraxians of sabotaging their automated defense systems. Dr. Petrov's response came through their encrypted channel. Perfect timing. Deploy the next wave of evidence packages. Let's show them exactly what their allies have been saying about them behind closed doors. Below, Sarah maintained her diplomatic performance. Earth understands that such matters are beyond our current status to comment upon. We merely wish to ensure our trading routes remain secure during this adjustment period. The council members stirred uneasily. Reports of rising tensions between three of their most powerful members had begun to overshadow routine proceedings. Rumors of military ships conducting surveillance of supposed allies' territories circulated through diplomatic channels. Quantum alert, Lieutenant Singh reported from her position in the station's security center. The Vorax just canceled their defense treaty with the Meraxians. They're citing evidence of systematic betrayal spanning the past 3 cycles. Sarah noticed the subtle shift in the council members' postures as their personal devices simultaneously notified them of the development. Her augmented senses detected elevated stress patterns in their biological signatures. The council appreciates Earth's patience during these temporary disruptions, Selex declared, their tendrils moving in patterns that indicated growing concern. We assure you that all member species remain committed to galactic stability. Rodriguez's neural link pulsed with incoming data. The Meraxians just discovered their secure military channels were compromised. They're blaming Drachnid cyber warfare units, exactly as our planted evidence suggested they would. Interesting timing, Dr. Petrov noted, right when they were about to launch their next coordinated attack on our Centauri colonies. Such a shame they no longer trust their partners enough to proceed. Sarah bowed respectfully to the council. Earth thanks you for your reassurances. We will, of course, continue to develop our colonies with full confidence in the council's oversight. The irony of her words wasn't lost on the human operatives monitoring the session. Their quantum networks had already detected emergency meetings being called in 3 separate sectors of space, each conspirator species scrambling to protect against betrayals they now believed were inevitable. Update from deep cover agents, Lieutenant Singh reported. The Drachnids are repositioning their fleet to protect their core worlds. They're convinced the Vorax are planning a preemptive strike. "Send the final package," Rodriguez ordered. "Let's show them the fabricated evidence of their allies plotting with pirates to seize their territory while they're distracted." Dr. Petrov's fingers danced across her quantum interface. "Deploying now. Their own paranoia will do the rest." Each species' cultural programming makes them incapable of accepting such a loss of face. Sarah concluded her presentation to the Council, maintaining Earth's carefully crafted image of a naive newcomer to galactic politics. As she departed the chamber, her neural link confirmed that all pieces were in place for humanity's masterstroke. "The web is complete," Rodriguez announced to their secure channel. "Every attempt they make to investigate the security breaches leads them deeper into our trap. They're so focused on suspecting each other that they've completely forgotten about us." "Inform command," Sarah ordered as she boarded their diplomatic shuttle. "Operation Thunderstrike is ready to proceed. The moment they finish tearing their alliance apart, we'll show them exactly what humanity is capable of." The shuttle departed Nexus Station, leaving behind a council increasingly preoccupied with the growing crisis between its members. None of them suspected that Earth's revenge was about to be served with devastating precision. Operation Thunderstrike. The Earth Defense Fleet materialized from hyperspace in perfect synchronization. 300 warships, their existence unknown to the galactic community, took up attack positions across 27 sectors of space. Each vessel carried weapons specifically designed to counter alien defense technologies. From the bridge of the flagship Thunderstrike, Admiral Helena Ross watched the tactical display as green confirmation lights flashed across the board. "All battle groups report ready," she announced. "Operation Thunderstrike commencing on my mark." In the Geneva Command Center, Sarah Chen and Commander Rodriguez monitored the quantum feed. "The conspirators remain divided," Rodriguez reported. "Their fleets are still postured against each other. None of their early warning systems have detected our approach." Quantum messages intercepted. Lieutenant Singh's voice came through the secure channel. "The pirate bases are requesting emergency support from their handlers. The Drachnids, Maraxians, and Vorax are all refusing to respond, each suspecting the calls for help are tricks by their former allies." Admiral Ross's voice remained steady as she gave the command. "All ships, execute primary mission objectives. Show them what humanity can do." Across space, Earth's fleet launched its coordinated attack. Ships equipped with phase-shifted kinetic weapons opened fire on pirate bases, their projectiles passing straight through energy shields calibrated to stop energy weapons. Decades of analyzing alien technology had revealed weaknesses none of them thought possible. "First wave successful," Dr. Petrov reported from her station. 87% of primary targets neutralized. Their defensive systems were completely unprepared for physical ammunition moving at relativistic speeds. The tactical display showed dozens of pirate stations going dark as Earth's weapons found their marks. The few ships that managed to launch found themselves caught in carefully planned crossfires, their crews shocked to encounter human vessels that could match their maneuverability. "Quantum alert," Lieutenant Singh called out. "The Drachnids are detecting the attacks. They're accusing the Vorax of launching a surprise offensive. The Vorax think it's a Maraxian strike. None of them realize it's us." Admiral Ross allowed herself a small smile. "Launch second wave. Target their command and control centers. Let's show them what our primitive technology can really do." Earth's ships moved with practiced precision, executing maneuvers that exploited gaps in alien sensor systems. Each shot struck with devastating accuracy, systematically dismantling the infrastructure that had supported attacks on human colonies. "The Council is in chaos," Sarah reported, monitoring the diplomatic channels. "They're receiving distress calls from across their territory, but the conflicting accusations between the conspirators are preventing any coordinated response." "Defense grid analysis complete," Dr. Petrov announced. "The pirates' backup systems are failing exactly as predicted. Their reliance on energy-based defenses left them completely vulnerable to our kinetic strike platforms. The battle unfolded with mathematical precision as humanity's fleet executed their carefully planned operation. Decades of being underestimated had allowed Earth to develop weapons and tactics that no one had thought to defend against. "Admiral," Rodriguez called out, "the last pirate stronghold in the Centauri sector is requesting unconditional surrender. They're transmitting their command codes and database access. Accept their surrender." Admiral Ross ordered, "Download everything. We'll add it to the evidence we present to the Council." She turned to her tactical officer. "Status report. Operation Thunderstrike 96% complete," came the response. "All primary and secondary objectives achieved. Minimal casualties on our side. The enemy never had a chance to mount an effective defense." Sarah's voice carried a note of satisfaction. "The conspirators are too busy accusing each other to realize what's really happening. By the time they figure it out, we'll have everything we need to expose their entire operation." "Send word to all ships," Admiral Ross commanded. "Begin Phase 2 of the operation. I want every piece of evidence documented and prepared for transmission to the Council. It's time to show them exactly who they've been underestimating." The Earth fleet maintained their positions, their presence now impossible to ignore. In the space of a single hour, humanity had demonstrated combat capabilities that none had thought possible. The message was clear. The species they had dismissed as primitive had just executed one of the most sophisticated military operations in recent galactic history. Truth unveiled. The council chamber erupted in chaos as Ambassador Sarah Chen calmly loaded the data crystal into the central display system. Above the assembled representatives, a holographic web of evidence expanded to fill the vast space, showing thousands of connections between the conspirators and their pirate proxies. "Distinguished members of the council," Sarah began, her voice cutting through the pandemonium, "Earth presents irrefutable evidence of organized attacks against our colonies, coordinated by 3 of your own member species." Senior Speaker Xalex's color patterns shifted rapidly in distress as the evidence unfolded before them. Ship registries, banking transactions, communication logs, and command protocols filled the display, each thread connecting directly to Meraxian, Drachnid, and Vorax officials. "These records are fabrications," the Drachnid representative hissed, their scales bristling with agitation. "The humans lack the technological capability to gather such intelligence." Commander Rodriguez stepped forward, activating his own data feed. "We anticipated your denial," he stated, triggering a new layer of evidence. "Every transmission is authenticated with your own quantum signatures. Your encryption was quite impressive, but not impenetrable." The chamber fell silent as video feeds appeared, showing coordinated attacks on human colonies. Each recording was timestamped and annotated with command signatures traced directly back to the conspirators' military headquarters. "Impossible," the Vorax delegate clicked, their mandibles twitching nervously. "Our systems cannot be compromised. We are technologically superior." Dr. Petrov joined the presentation, her quantum interface projecting additional data streams. "Superior technology means little when you underestimate your opponent. While you dismissed us as primitive, we mapped your entire command structure. Every secret channel, every hidden protocol, every encrypted frequency." The evidence continued to mount. Financial records showed resources stolen from human colonies being funneled through shell companies. Military orders authorized attacks while maintaining plausible deniability. Private communications revealed the full scope of the conspiracy. "The recent collapse of your alliance was not, as you believed, the result of mutual betrayal," Sarah explained. "Earth orchestrated every suspicious transmission, every piece of evidence that turned you against each other. Your own paranoia did the rest." Lieutenant Singh's voice came through their secure channel. "Multiple council species are demanding emergency sessions. The political fallout is exceeding our projections." The Meraxian representative rose in protest, their crystalline form vibrating with anger. "You expect us to believe that humans possess such capabilities? That you manipulated 3 advanced civilizations without detection. Sarah smiled diplomatically. We don't expect you to believe anything. The evidence speaks for itself. But if you require further proof, she activated the final data stream, showing the complete tactical recording of Operation Thunderstrike. The Council watched in stunned silence as Earth's fleet systematically dismantled the pirate networks their members had believed untraceable. By your own laws, Sarah continued, an attack on one member species by another constitutes a severe breach of Council protocol. Though Earth may not hold full membership status, we trust the Council will address these violations appropriately. The chamber erupted again as representatives from neutral species began demanding immediate sanctions against the conspirators. The evidence was too comprehensive, too detailed to dismiss. Updated analysis from Geneva, Dr. Petrov reported through their secure link. The political damage to the conspirators is catastrophic. Their attempts to deny involvement are only making them appear more guilty. Commander Rodriguez observed the chaos with satisfaction. They still can't accept that we outmaneuvered them. Their belief in their own superiority blinds them to the possibility that we might have developed in ways they never considered. Sarah stood calmly at the center of the storm, watching as the Council's carefully maintained political order began to crumble. The species that had dismissed humanity as primitive were now facing the consequences of their arrogance. Earth requests that the Council review our evidence in full, she announced. We trust you will find it thoroughly convincing. In the meantime, we will maintain our fleet positions to ensure no further attacks on our colonies. The implied threat wasn't lost on anyone. Humanity had demonstrated both the intelligence to uncover the conspiracy and the military capability to defend against it. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, and the Council would never see Earth the same way again. New Order. 1 month after Earth's revelation, the Council chamber bore little resemblance to its former self. 3 empty seats marked the temporary suspension of the conspirator species, while Ambassador Sarah Chen now addressed the assembly from an elevated platform, a symbol of Earth's new status. The transition protocols are proceeding as planned, Sarah reported to the assembled representatives. Earth's defensive fleet continues to maintain security in the affected sectors, ensuring no further disruption to interstellar commerce. Senior Speaker Xalax, their color patterns now showing muted tones of respect, acknowledged her report. The Council recognizes Earth's contribution to galactic stability. The proposal for immediate elevation to full member status has been approved unanimously. Commander Rodriguez, standing at his new position among the senior military advisors, monitored the quantum feeds from Earth's expanded intelligence network. The conspirators' forces remained confined to their home systems, their once proud fleets now under constant surveillance. The latest economic analysis is complete, Dr. Petrov reported through their secure channel. The redistribution of trade routes has increased efficiency by 23%. Removing the artificial barriers created by the conspiracy has strengthened legitimate commerce. Lieutenant Singh's voice added, security sweeps confirm no new pirate activity in any of the previously affected sectors. The message has been received. Earth's space is off limits. Sarah activated the central display, showing the new trade and security arrangements. Earth proposes the establishment of a joint task force to prevent future violations of Council law. We offer our expertise in detection and prevention of coordinated illegal activities. The irony of the proposal wasn't lost on anyone present. The same capabilities that had exposed the conspiracy would now help enforce galactic law. Several Council members shifted uncomfortably, no doubt wondering what else humanity might have discovered about their operations. The Council accepts Earth's proposal, Xalax announced, their tendrils moving in patterns of formal acceptance. We acknowledge that certain assumptions about human capabilities may have been in error. A diplomatic masterpiece, Rodriguez commented through their private channel. They're practically begging us to help prevent the very kinds of operations we used against the conspirators. Dr. Petrov's quantum interface pulsed with incoming data. The cultural shift is remarkable. Species that dismissed us as primitive are now studying human history, particularly our rapid advancement from planetary conflict to space exploration. Sarah maintained her diplomatic composure as she outlined Earth's vision for improved galactic security. The council members listened with newfound attention, their previous condescension replaced by cautious respect. Additional update from Command. Lieutenant Saint reported, "The Drachnids have submitted a formal request for technological exchange, particularly in the field of kinetic weapons. The Merexians and Vorax are expected to follow suit." "Quite a change from believing our technology was primitive," Rodriguez observed. "Amazing what a precisely executed military operation can do for diplomatic relations." Sarah concluded her presentation, accepting the Council's vote of approval with graceful humility. As the session ended, representatives from various species approached her, eager to establish closer ties with the civilization they had so recently underestimated. Final reports confirm complete success, Dr. Petrov announced through their secure link. Earth's position in galactic politics has been transformed. Our technological capabilities are now recognized, our military strength respected, and our diplomatic influence secured. Outside the chamber, Earth's fleet maintained its vigilant watch over human space. The ships that had shocked the galaxy with their advanced capabilities now served as a visible reminder. Humanity would no longer tolerate threats to its security. "Send word to Geneva," Sarah instructed as they departed the chamber. "Operation Shadow Echo is officially concluded. Tell them the mission objectives have been exceeded. Earth's place among the stars is finally secured." The council session ended with the galaxy fundamentally changed. The species that had dismissed humanity as primitive now grappled with a new reality. They had learned the hard way that technological advancement could take many forms, and that underestimating humans was a dangerous mistake. As their diplomatic shuttle prepared for departure, Sarah looked back at the council station. "They thought we were simple creatures playing at being a spacefaring civilization," she mused. "Instead, we taught them that humanity's greatest strength lies in being underestimated." The shuttle jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind a galaxy forever altered by humanity's calculated revenge. The message was clear: Earth had arrived on the galactic stage, and it would never be dismissed again.